Hello, Rob here from the Flanagan Homestead. I've got thousands of Nordmann fir seeds here in this bag, and I'm going to start the stratification process and show you how I do that. I've been doing that for the last couple of years. I actually normally buy Nordmann fir seedlings, but they're hard to get, so I wanted to start the process. And why am I standing in my kitchen? Because my wife loves it when I farm in the kitchen. And yes, love you, honey. Anyway, they'll be outside soon, but it's dark outside, and I'm gonna do the stratification process in here, and it's actually quite easy. And noble fir seeds can be done similarly. But anyway, I bought a pound of seed from Silva seed here in Roy, Washington. I don't live in Roy, but I live in Washington State. There's about 7,000 to 8,000 seeds in a pound of Nordmann fir seeds. They said that they actually needed a lot of their seed, but they were willing to part with this bag because, well, they were honest with me. They had it for several years, and each year that they keep it in the freezer, there's a lower percentage of seeds that germinate. So they told me, hey, this has been around a while, you're going to get a lower percentage. Actually, when I did this last year with these seeds, it wasn't bad. It wasn't as high of a rate as you wanted, but I got a lot of trees. So, but they had it for many years before they sold it to me. I've had it for several years. So these seeds have been in a freezer for probably 7 to 10 years now. I don't know exactly, but I'm pretty sure it's been at least 7 years. So we'll see how well it works. But it is mid-February right now, and so I'm going to start the process, and it's pretty simple. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to pour these in a bucket. I'm actually using a lunch pail that nobody's using right now, and I'm just going to fill this full of water, and I'm going to soak this for at least 24 hours. Some people like to rinse it after maybe 12 hours. There's a chemical that secretes off the shell or off the seed that some people think is good to get rid of. So this is the evening, probably tomorrow morning, I'll rinse it out and put more water in there and make sure that this is 24 hours. After that, we'll put it in the refrigerator. I'll show you that process in a while too. But first things first, simply soak all these seeds. You could do similar with noble fir seeds. Actually, when I've done noble fir seeds, and I've had a lot of success before, is I just mix them in a whole lot of sand, and I put the bucket of sand with the seeds mixed in it outside during the winter, and it freezes, and it thaws, and it freezes, and it thaws. Then in the spring, it's ready to plant. But the Nordmann fir seeds, I'm just going to soak these for at least a minimum of 24 hours, but no more than 48. And anyway, I've got enough water in the bucket now that they can all soak up some water and get rinsed off. Obviously, some of the seed floats on top of the rest, so I'm just going to stir it around and make sure that each seed has a chance to get underneath. But anyway, you don't need to see more of this. I'm getting the seeds wet. So here's the tag from Silva seed. You can see on it, it actually comes from Georgia, not the state of Georgia, but the country of Georgia. On the further seed, it actually says the provenance was Ambreluri Tiogi. Don't even know how to say it, but from the country of Georgia, where the Nordmann fir are native. So my seed has been soaking. I've actually put it in there. It's been a little bit more than 24 hours. I put it in the evening a couple nights ago. So 24 hours would have been last night, but we had a Super Bowl party and everybody was busy here, and so it's the next morning. So we're at a little over 30 hours. I'm going to go drain this. I don't think I actually showed you what Nordmann fir seeds look like. More than a 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch seed. The roots are going to come out of this point down here that I have on the lower side. Anyway, so I need to strain this out, so I'm going to just take a strainer out of the kitchen. It's basically a screen, and pour the water through this. Put the seed in. After most of the water's run out, maybe a little bit more here. Pour them out on the paper towel. Let some more of the moisture come out there. Got myself a gallon Ziploc bag. Gonna open this up. Fold this over. And I'm going to shove the whole thing in the bag. So I'm going to have to do this with 2 gallon bags because I have so many seeds. What I've done before and been successful with in the past is I leave the paper towel in there with it that had soaked up some of the moisture. You don't want the seeds to stay super wet and get moldy, but you do want to have moisture in there. The towel kind of soaks up. For me, I feel like the towel soaks up some of the extra moisture, but then the moisture is actually still in the bag, and if it's getting too dry in the bag, the moisture comes out of the towel and goes back into the seed. Always mark your bags on when you put it in there. In this case, February 14th. You always think you're going to remember, and you never do. So write it down. After you've got everything in the bags, stick them in the refrigerator, and you're going to forget about them for a while. Hopefully in a back corner where your wife's not going to throw them away, or a reminder that they're important to you, not to throw them away. Every few weeks I might turn and rotate them a little bit just so they're not piled up the same way, so you get a little air on some and moisture, not all just in the same spot. I think it kind of prevents rot. But so they'll be in the refrigerator for 6 to 8 weeks, and then you can plant them. They'll be ready to plant. The last few times that I did this, before we got to that time frame, or just as we're getting to that time frame, you could start to see little roots actually coming out while they're in the refrigerator, and so you knew that they were ready. And I'd actually take the ones that the roots are showing and actually stick them in the ground, or root down, and actually, when I planted mine, I took the ones that were showing germination and root growth and stick them in the ground and put the others back in the refrigerator and waited another week, and then a bunch more would have the roots starting to come out, and I would plant them that way. And then after a few weeks, I just put all the rest in that hadn't shown anything, and those were the ones that a lot of those just didn't grow anyway because they weren't viable seed anymore. Because remember, this is actually very old seed, so the percentage rate is going to be down. But yeah, I would actually, the last couple of years, just take them out, and because I'm not doing huge quantities, and plant the ones that I saw roots starting to sprout out. So the Nordmann's fir seeds are in the refrigerator. They're going to be there for several weeks, continuing their stratification process. I'm going to go ahead and post this video now. I will have updates later on how they're doing when the process has moved along. But I just wanted to post this now because if you're planning to do some stratification, it's time to get that moving along, because this need to be stratified and the seeds need to be ready to go in the ground in the spring. So it's time to be moving forward. Thanks for joining me on the Flanagan Homestead, where Christmas trees are my business, teaching including horticulture is my job, and outdoor projects are my passion. And these Nordmann seeds are part of the Christmas tree business. Hope to see you again soon. Be blessed.